The recently released Tom Morello at Minetta Lane Theatre Speaking Truth to Power Through Stories and Song, which was recorded during Morello's 3-night performance last September, will undoubtedly prove popular among fans of the Rage Against the Machine guitarist, who, let's not forget, has also been productive in other projects including Audioslave, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, The Night Watchman, and more. Morello says, quote, "The show documented in the Audible release is a combination of shredding guitar and a lifetime of anecdotal stories." He says, quote, "It's about how I got shredding on guitar and why I bothered to begin. Part spoken word and part music, the show offers remarkable insight into his journey as one of the most important guitarists to emerge in the 90s, delving deep into the noises and activism he's been associated with over the last 3 decades. When asked about how comfortable he was getting on stage for a music and spoken word show, Morello says, quote, "Speaking to an audience and telling tales is something I've been doing around campfires for decades now, so there was some familiarity in that regard. And then when it came to plugging in and ripping some solos, that was something I was pretty comfortable with too. Yeah, no shit." Tom Morello at Minetta Lane Theatre Speaking Truth to Power Through Stories and Song is available now on Audible. In other news, MusicIncite introduced what they're calling the ultimate music help system, dubbed eMuso Studio. The music software platform uses an interval-based approach to reveal the inherent simplicity of building blocks of music, as used in melody, rhythm, and harmony. Founder and CEO Jerry Kramskoff says he created eMuso for, quote, "a simpler, faster, and more effective way to allow everyone to develop the musical skills they want to confidently take part in the global conversation expressed through music." The software supports interactive synchronized video, audio, and MIDI-based lessons, ebooks, practice regimes, along with your own musical assistant in the form of several tools that come with eMuso's toolkit. Users can choose their own direction and work at their own pace, and it's designed to allow users to see, touch, and play with the building blocks of music and understand their patterns and relationships on the instruments. It is worth noting, however, that eMuso is not for absolute beginners. The software doesn't cover the basics of holding a guitar, strumming, or show you how to play songs note for note. There are other fabulous sites for that, Guitar World. What users can do is create their own music sketches and then transfer concepts over to other instruments, create on virtual guitar, and then transfer to the virtual piano, bass, and violin, or vice versa. The user interface design and auto-correcting interactive content are based on music psychology findings, whereby music theory is absorbed easily and very rapidly. Definitely worth checking out. And finally, Billy F Gibbons sat down with Guitar World where he discussed his extensive collection of hot rod-inspired guitars. Fueled by the band's prodigious chart successes, Billy has built up a mind-blowing collection of vintage and custom-built guitars, most of which have been used on milestone ZZ recordings, while his outrageous chop-modded and pinstriped vintage cars often appeared in the band's videos and album art. Now, via the pages of a new book, Rock and Roll Gearhead, Billy's throwing open the doors of his garage to curious visitors. In our sit-down, Gibbons reminisces about his first proper guitar, a Sunburst Gibson Melody Maker from 1962. Gibbons recalls it was a, quote, "single cutaway, single pickup, simple, straight to the point, showed up on Christmas Day after turning 13. When asked about how he came by his original 61 Little Red SG, Gibbons remembers, quote, "There was a great 4-piece combo, the Van Tells in Houston, 3 guitars and a drummer. They released an instrumental single, Memo to Maxie, featuring the 61 Les Paul, known as Lil Red, as the solo instrument. We retrieved Little Red from extinction thanks to our pal Scott Thompson, who tracked it after it showed up in Texas Tom Slaughter's shop way back when. We've enjoyed its vibrola, ghostly driven effect on the ZZ Cut Vincent Price Blues." Other guitars featured in the book include the headless Fender Stratocaster, the Neiman Marcus custom BFG S6, 1965 Fender California Jaguar, and a whole lot more. For the full interview and more on Billy's collection, visit GuitarWorld.com. This has been Guitar World News. I'm Alan Chaput. I play little.